You guys a few moments to come in. I'm finally back with another live stream, and I'm gonna pull the live stream up on my okay, there we go. My laptop so I can see what's going on and how everything is looking. So today's tutorial should be quite easy. Hold on. I need to turn my phone into do not. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to put my phone in do not disturb mode. So, yes, today should be a fairly easy lesson. I am going to show you guys how to create this trending spiral handcuff that you might have seen recently trending on social media, um, or just online, period. This is a copper hand cuff spiral, and it's fairly easy to make. So I wanted to show you guys that today, how you can make it, how you can make one of your own. Mine in particular, I feel like it has a nice pressure to it. Everyone's hand size is a little different, so I might create a bigger gap right here than I did for mine, but that can easily be, it's adjustable, so it can fit anyone's hand pretty nicely. But if you're just joining in, especially if you're a regular, please let me know that you can hear the audio clearly. And we will be making this copper hand spiral today. And it should take, definitely it's going to take under 30 minutes. Honestly, this can be made in like 10, 15 minutes or less. I didn't, this is the first one that I made, and I did not get the exact measurements. I kind of eyeballed it, and for this one, hey Andre, for this one, this spiral is a little smaller than the one on the front. So for the actual one, I want to make the spirals relatively the same size. And I measured out like 5 inches for this one. So I think next, when we do it together, I'm going to measure out about 6 inches so I can have this spiral size to match the inner spiral. But just to give you a little background, somebody requested that I make this for them. So I made one, and I actually really like it. It stays on the hand pretty firmly, and I like the pressure that it applies. I actually think it's really cool because I've been experiencing some nerve stuff, muscle achiness, and I feel like this spiral connects directly to that. So this could be good for people who have like issues in their arms and their hands, their nerves, their fingers, and or anybody who just wants to. Our hands are really absorbing; they absorb a lot. So if you want to just have a good way to absorb the benefits of copper, I feel like this spiral is a great way to do that. So I'm gonna get started. Um, yes, if you're in the stream, please leave a like this video, share, subscribe, and comment in the chat box as well as in the actual comments. I've been a little bit under the weather, so I've been away, but I'm happy to come back really quick with a quick tutorial. I'll be working on a custom order that I've been meaning to get out later, so I don't know if I'll do another live stream, but for that, but I might, just to show you guys, like, I have the stones picked out for that. The custom order is going to be 2 pieces. They want it like opal, black tourmaline, moldavite, blue, topaz, moldavite, and tiger's eye. So that'll be for later. Oh yeah, a foot spiral would be nice. That's gonna have to be bigger, but I didn't think about that one. That would be a good idea to have the foot spiral. Anyhow, we're gonna get started. So for this video, you're going to need some 12 gauge wire. And then you'll need, I prefer these needle nose pliers with the rinds in them. Some flush cutters. Definitely gonna need the flush cutters. And honestly, I just used these two tools. So you can make it work with these two tools. These two tools are actually available at Home Depot. They come in a set, the flush cutters with the needle nose pliers. They come together. So that's all you really need. If you have polishing pads, I would recommend that. And I didn't really measure it, but I'll measure this piece out for you guys so you can see. That will be probably the part that you have to figure out for yourself, is the proper measurement for how big that you want to make your spiral. This piece of wire that I'm not even going to use the full thing, but this is about 22 inches of 12 gauge round wire. So first off, I would recommend polishing it instead of polishing it afterwards. So I use this polishing pad. I sell these polishing pads on my website. But yeah, first off, we want to polish the 12 gauge round wire so that it can have a shinier. I didn't polish this one, so you can kind of see this one's a little bit more dull than this one. So we're going to polish the wire all the way through just by pinching it with the polishing pad. Once that's polished, we'll begin to twist. And for the initial twist, you want a flush cut. So I'm gonna make a flush cut. Flush means that you want it to be flat. This has like a divot that we don't want. So when you cut it with the flat side facing the wire, it leaves a flush cut. You see, now it is flat and flush, just like we want it. I prefer the flush cut for the center of my spiral. So let me zoom out. Sorry. Now that we have the flush cut, we'll begin the first spiral. And the way that I like to begin a perfect spiral is by pinching the very tip of the spiral, holding it firmly, and curling it into itself. Meaning, I'm going to twist this hand clockwise, just like this. I can hold the wire straight with my left hand, but with my right hand, I want to twist it clockwise. Thank you guys for putting your likes on the stream. Also, thank you for being here. So now at the very tip, I'm going to hold it tight so that it doesn't slip out of my grip. That's why I like to use the flat nose pliers that have the rinds inside of them so that we get a nice stable grip. Because you'll find that if you use these smooth pliers, oftentimes it can like slip off, and I don't want any slip. So I'm pinching the very tip of my flush cut wire. This is 12 gauge. And pay attention to everything I'm doing. I'm using my thumb to help guide the spiral, as well as I'm going to be twisting my hand at the same time. So I'm twisting my hand to get my initial curve started. Now you see how I didn't just keep trying to twist that way. I'm repositioning. I'm putting my hand back to its original position, which is the most comfortable position, to just have your hand this way, not that way. And I reposition it and grip it again, and curling it into itself so that we can start to develop a spiral that looks like this. That one I like even more. So since I have that little hook. I like to pinch it into itself like this. And then I just begin to, you would think that maybe you need round nose pliers or something, but you don't need those. You're gonna create the spiral on your own. So we're no longer pinching right here. We're now gonna begin to pinch right here to create an even coil. And then I just keep inching it down. As we create the coil, I'm gonna be inching it down and twisting. So I like the start of this. I'm gonna pinch it more to make it a little bit smaller. Pinching it there. And then I'm gonna bring it in right here. I'm gonna bring this side. Yes, Sonia, um, and Mario. I think that's what you told me. Mario, this is your piece that I'm making today, and I'm feeling a lot better. So I'm happy to be doing that. Yes, until you said, but until then, I will have you keep making them for me. Yes, I'm glad. Yeah, Sanya McCraney 9937 is the one who requested this piece. So this is actually their piece that I'm making right now, and this is what it looks like. So thank you for the inspiration, and thank you for being here. Yes, Mario, appreciate it. Much love. So back to it. When you want to get that, you like, it could be possible that you start it and it looks like this, but I want a nice tight coil. So sometimes I pinch in the initial piece with the outside to just create, to keep it nice and tight like that. And you really just have to like have the visual look for everything. So like you have to have the eye on how to, just have to eyeball it, in my opinion. You gotta just eyeball it. So we're just twisting, and you see I'm moving my pliers down closer to the outermost part of the spiral that we are creating. And I think it needs to be tighter, so I'm gonna make it tighter. And it's all up to you, because some people will do this type of spiral completely closed, but this one has like some air and some space in between it to make it like more, more spacious rather than a tight coil. I could show you guys the tight coil as well. And these spirals can be used for anything. I have earrings on my website that have the same type of spiral design. And it could even be a ring. It could be a ring, it could be earrings, it could be a part of a bracelet, which that might be coming next. And you have to just eyeball how big do you want the spiral to be. I think this is like a good spot for like right here. I think that's a pretty nice size for the coil. You can also use your hands if you want, but I just find that it's really good to use the tools for me and for precision. And then you have to kind of eyeball, where am I going to create the bend. So I'll make my hand big because everyone's hand size is different. So right about here is where I'll begin to bend. And I'll leave a little space because, it just depends on how big your hand is. But like again, like I said, these are pretty adjustable. You can open it up. You don't want to do it too much because over time, repeatedly going like this with copper could break it in the future. But just a slight little This and that is okay. It's not gonna do too much damage. But this is like pretty loose for me, but I could always pinch it and now it's tight. So it's adjustable in that way. So now we're just gonna do the same. The this side can be just a tiny bit harder to predict because we started off twisting and being able to control how big we want the spiral. But on this side, you kind of got to guess, like, where should I start? Because you can't start all the way down here. This is way too much. The coil would end up being like this big. So I already know I'm not going to need this much for this side. I'm going to have to measure. And when I did this side came out a little bit smaller because, like, at this point, like where we are now, I had measured an additional 5 inches. So now I'm going to measure additional like 6 inches, and I think that'll get me a nice coil to match this side. And I started that measurement from right here, from here to out, instead of from right here to out. So let me show you guys what I mean. Also, put a like on the stream if you're enjoying this live stream, if you're just coming in to help my algorithm out and help, people find this content. So this is about 6 inches, like right here, which I think will do it. Will give us the coil size we're looking for. I'll do just a tiny bit more. That should give us the right coil size to match this one. And we'll be able to tweak it just a little bit. I'm almost like, should I do less? But I think this should do it. Just do just a tiny bit less. Okay, now we will begin to just do the same thing we just did. Pinching the tip inward. And if you ever did, like, if it was ever too much, you could always, like, kind of tweak it and make it a tighter coil to make it match up for you. I'm working both hands together to get the coil formulated, like, equally. So, in my opinion, much better than the initial one on the equal spiral size. I was able to get an equal spiral size going, which is what we wanted. And um, like I said, it's adjustable. If you want it fancy, you can add a little something like this to it, just a little slight curve if you want. And for those who own the coil, if they want to fit tighter, you can just push your spiral in just a little bit more, like such. Like this. Yep, yep, yep. That way it's on center with the hand. Cool, cool, cool. So that was the tutorial on how to make this one, you guys. Um, this one's a little smaller. Also, it can be worn with the cuff going in towards the hand, and it could also be worn with the cuff going on the outer side. It feels a little bit more secure, in my opinion, when it's going in between the thumb and the index finger. Just feels a lot more secure. Yep, yep. So that's that. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you want to see another tutorial on anything else, please let me know for that as well. And I might show some of the process, like I said, of these custom orders that I'm about to make with these sets of stones. One's for a son and the other is for a daughter. Father is trying to get a piece for everybody and his family going. Um we're at 21 minutes. I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you guys for putting your likes on the stream, for watching and being here with me. And I hope this was a helpful tutorial for you. It looks like we don't have any questions. Thanks, Andre. And thank you, Mario, for the request and the inspiration for this piece. I'm out.